Good morning, everybody. Hey, y'all, hey. I've been gone a long time, and I know I have, but every now and then, like I tell you guys, life is happening, and I just can't do these videos at the rate that I want to. So, outside of work retreats, Master Gardener program, I'm still behind in the 12 modules. I've only done 2, and the quizzes, I want to get through 2. That's gonna be a lie. I'll get through one tomorrow, and I probably try to do another one during the week. But I want to get at least 8 done altogether by the end of November. I'm looking at a cobweb like, oh, you gotta go. But anyway, I'm in the greenhouse that is packed, and it's packed because I am overwintering my citrus plants, my citrus trees. So I'll turn the camera around in a minute, but I just want to come back and give you guys an update on us winterizing the greenhouse. Also, just putting some garden beds to bed, and some projects I talked to you guys before in the summer season that I wanted to do in the yard. So I'm gonna show you guys all of that in this quick video. And I said I better do it while it's hot. While it's quiet. So let's turn this camera on. I'm letting you know now the greenhouse is greenhousing. So she is not as neat as I would love for her to be, but right now it's just a matter of storing things, putting things away, and just trying to keep things from getting frost bitten or frozen that I could bring back out in spring. Okay, so let's turn this camera around. All right, give me a sec. Okay, the roselle that I had in Ray's garden bed that was almost like a freaking tall shrub didn't make it. We got cold, it died. Anyway, but the one that's in this pot, I actually had 2 plants in here. I just brought it in a greenhouse, and it's been in here for maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, and it has protected it. And I've gotten a few roselles on here. So basically, the roselle is part of the hibiscus family, the tropical hibiscus and the hardy hibiscus. And I think it might even be part of the okra family. I think they're all kinds because their flowers all look alike, but that's the flower. Your roselle has to flower before you actually collect the, I'm going to say this name wrong. Is it Kotzilitz? I can't pronounce it right now, but we'll get it together the sooner I get deeper into this. So now that this one has bloomed, when it closes and kind of shrinks back into its bud, then I can harvest this and use this for tea or the Jamaican punch that's normally made. Now, it's one up there that I can collect. Let's see if I can get it, because this one already bloomed. There we go. So this one has already bloomed. Let's get it into focus. This one has already bloomed. So basically, now that it's bloom, I can take this off. That's the dead flower. Let's put this to the side. And this is what I'm going to use to make the hibiscus or roselle tea, whichever way you want to call it. Either tea or the Jamaican punch. I think it's like this and ginger and probably some spices, cinnamon spices or something like that. But anyway, this is only my 3rd one I've collected. So I'm just going to see how many I could possibly get just to see what it tastes like, because I definitely want to grow this again next year. And make sure I take this in the house, put it in my pocket. I definitely want to grow this again next year, and I think I will keep it in a pot. I said I'll put it in the ground, but I don't know if it'll make it, because now I know I need to grow it sooner, sow it sooner indoors, probably in January, February, to get it much more established before I bring it outside, because I see it takes a while before it starts flowering. Because I'm in zone 6A, I don't think our zone is warm enough to last as long as this plant needs to, grow, so to speak. By the time, has this open yet? No, this has to open. I don't think we have enough time in our seasons to allow it to grow to the height or the maturity that it needs to be in order to harvest these right here. See, I got 2 more. Okay, so put these in my pocket. But anyway, so yeah, so I brought the roselle in the greenhouse and that's working for me. Right now, the greenhouse is reading 62 degrees. It was in the 80s because I'm going to slowly turn around and you'll see as I'm overwintering some things in here. Some rosemary, some jewel of opal. These are some serenity ions that I started from seed. Propagated some roses. This is a propagated hardy hydrangea. This is propagating more roses. This is the loofah that I'm letting finish drying out. I seeded this up, but guys, I can't even tell y'all what this is. It might be echinacea. I don't know. But some strawberry runners, some geraniums that I left in here, some echinacea, hydrangea. You know, they started looking really bad towards the end. But I brought this in. This is the one that I propagated from a previous bush that I had. But anyway, that is my heater, greenhouse heater. It's on a timer. So this is the plug that goes to this. This is the timer. I think I have it coming on like at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, and then it cuts off like 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see how long or how short I need to have this on, because the shorter the better. That means less on my electricity bill. But I can gauge it up here, like how warm I want it to be, like minimum, maximum. This is on, off. And then we bag out. Hold on, let me bag out a little bit because this is only a 9x6. But anyway, so that's one of the Meyer lemon bushes that is still growing because the temperature in here is quite right. And I wrapped it in a frost cloth from the bottom. So I have two. There's the second one. There's the lemon. It's kind of all gathered up in here, guys. There's the one I grew from seed. I don't know if I ever get any fruit, but that's another lemon. That's some mandarin right there that's doing really well. I got the lime quat that died on me. Not died, but the fruit was killed from a really cool night we got towards the end of summer. So she's bushing back out, but from the bottom. So I'm just going to see. I put this reflective insulated bubble paper up here. It's kind of coming undone. The tape is not really holding. I'm not worried about it as much. I might just push it back in there if I can reach it, because one thing I was watching this one lady as I was searching for how to, heat your greenhouse during the winter, because this is my first winter with this greenhouse, is she actually draped, this spider web is really bothering me. She actually draped greenhouse plastic on the outside of her. I'm getting this cobweb, y'all. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna be able to do it. You got to go, Bookie. You got to go. I need to get my peppermint oil up in here so they won't try to set up camp too much up in here. But anyway, and I'll show you guys what we did. Now, we didn't do the roof yet. We're trying to see if we're going to do the roof. I don't know yet. I want to do the roof as far as with the plastic. So basically, and I know I'm jumping, I'm sorry. She covered her small greenhouse in greenhouse plastic. And I'm going to walk out so I can show you guys. She covered her, her greenhouse in greenhouse plastic on the outside. And I was like, you know what? I think I like that, because it's not like I can get to the walls as much as I want to if I did want to put some type of insulation up. So my honey had to finish it because we got a deep freeze that's coming. It's supposed to come, I think tonight we're supposed to get down to the 30s, and then tomorrow's high is only up in the 30s. So I was like, okay, we need to do this now. We don't do things on Saturdays because that's the Lord's Sabbath and we honor the Lord's Sabbath. So we were like, okay, we got to get it done. Anywho, so this is what we got. No, it's not cute. Sometimes you can't worry about the aesthetics when you're just trying to get what done, something done that just needs to be done. It can't be cute all the time. So anyway, so we did an overlap on the door here. So it overlaps. So that way, it's still some type of air is going to get in there, but not at the level it would if we didn't do this at all. So we have it insulated all around the sides. As you can see, all around the sides are insulated. I can see a little air is getting in there, but it's not as much as it would be if we didn't do anything. So we're just testing right now. So it's all wrapped in greenhouse plastic. Again, I still may put one on top. And I also look at this as another way of protecting the wood, even though we do put the water seal on the wood, or some type of stain or whatever. I just feel like it's an added protection for the wood. So that's what we did with the greenhouse. I didn't dig out my dahlias out of these pots. I just basically insulated them with mulch and threw some frost and plastic over it, and got everything weighted down. And that's just another thing I'm testing to see if those dahlias will come back. At least they're not getting wet, right? Everything on the back of the wall, back of the gate, in the garden, it's pretty much done. I pulled some stuff out, the annuals out, cut back the hardy hibiscus and the peonies and things of that nature. Other things I'm just let it go with the wind, right? You guys know I did put the 2 apple trees in the ground. And these last 2 summers, at the end of summer, I think it's a possum keep coming out in our grass, digging it up, trying to get to the grubs and stuff. And I treat our grass with, the grub prevention. But it's so annoying when you come out and you see all these little pockets of your grass being peeled back. So I'm using the Mogolinite grass fertilizer, because they said at some point, they'll stop doing it because they don't like the taste of the soil or whatever. But anywho, I think the possum is still under our shed, and I'm going to have to throw some mothballs up under there or something, because the sucker got to go, right? So another thing I've done, I planted out some foxgloves that I bought from a nursery early. Well, actually, I bought them last fall, and they were delivered in spring. I never got them out, but I finally put them in the ground, at least the rest of them. I put some Macrophylla hydrangeas over here because my sweet potatoes did not do good over here because there was no sun. So I didn't get any sweet potatoes, but there's like one long skinny one. So a lesson learned, sweet potatoes need full direct hot sun. Okay, I should have known that. But anywho, so these are all Macrophylla hydrangeas and foxgloves. That would be fine. This is just a little bit of everything, from lemon balm to apple mint, to chocolate mint, to snapdragons, to all the things that will come back. Anise hyssop. This one rose that I bought this spring has showed itself like off. Okay, it's a knockout rose. It's huge. I'm definitely gonna have to cut it back in spring, and it'll grow back like I didn't do anything. And so this one has done really, really well. The other foxgloves and stuff that I put over here, I put a campanula over here that I'll probably get a bloom, and a mullein over here. And this is a new bed I developed this summer. Again, like we said, everything is shut down. Took the gomphrena out. That was some type of fennel in that one as well. But anyway, so we also done some things. Remember I told you guys that we were trying to get our deck sealed, but reseal it or whatever, but we waited too late. So I'm showing you, as you can see, all the beds are winterized, but I'm gonna show you in a minute. But anyway, we finally got a family friend over here who loves to paint. He's pretty much a jack of all trades, and he just finished painting our deck yesterday. So let's turn it around. Yay! Doesn't that look so much better? I told my husband, would you listen to your wife? He kept trying to put it off. I said, okay, we're going to be rebuilding another deck if we do not protect this deck. So he got in here, guys. He finished it within this week, and he did a little bit every day. He even painted the arbor that I got right there, the same color. And it looks so good. So good. I'm so happy. So in spring, when things, start warming up again, he also built for my brother and sister-in-law. He's a very close friend of my brother-in-law. But he built them an arbor onto their deck. So like my husband have these little posts right there that he makes his own little makeshift type little hut. We getting rid of that, okay? Basically, he's going to come over and build an arbor to match the deck. and it's going to be pitched some, so it'll probably be two different levels because this one's much bigger, it sits a little lower, and then this one is smaller, sits a little higher. So he's have to do two separate ones. But anywho, we're going to have him to come and build that for us in spring. So the summer we'll have a much more uniform, professional looking, appropriate, aesthetically pleasing arbor to match the deck. And that way, if we want to throw a mosquito netting over it or some type of sunshade or something like that, we could do that and it'll look like it had always been here. So that's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait. Also preparing for the cold season, or the winter I should say, my husband unhooked the water barrels. He drained them all. He's just got to unhook the top, and he's going to flip them upside down to make sure no more rain is collected in those. So, but he did drain them. He drained all of those. I have also collected some leaves and insulated one of the garlic beds, and I'm going to collect more as we get more, a little bit at a time. And then as you see, all these beds are covered. I have mustard greens, broccoli, kale. What else? Few onions here and there, sorrel. What else? I think that's it that's growing in these beds. Not all of them. I also put down a cover crop. Cover crop basically is something that will add nutrients to your soil. So you let it grow out, and before it seeds, if you get a chance to get to that point, because it's starting to get cold again, so it may not even get to its full grow. Before it seeds, you break it down, you cut it back, you cut it and make sure it doesn't seed up, and you leave it on top of your soil, and it feeds the soil. So I've done that with a few of these. Also, I covered my green stalks, except one, as you saw behind me, and all the other beds that don't have anything in it. I've even buried some kitchen scraps like eggshells, bananas, brown matter, coffee grains, whatever, is all deeply buried in the beds that you see with nothing in them. But I also cover them because I don't want animals digging in them. And secondly, I don't want birds and other, the wind dropping seeds from trees and all the things. Then that way in spring, when it's time for me to plant in these, I'm not pulling out weeds because the soil was exposed. So I suggest that you always cover your raised beds, and that way you won't have a whole lot of cleanup in spring. And then you also can preserve the soil. And also, as those things are breaking down, and the microorganisms and all the things down there is taking care of the things that you wanted to take care of while while the bed is resting. Okay. So, another thing, we got all the cattle panel up. You guys, I told you I've always wanted a cattle panel, and I finally got it. And as I see, I'm going to have to tell my husband to come up here and take these hummingbird feeders down. But anyway, we got the cattle panel up. This was the first one we put up for the grapevine. And then we also finished putting up the last cattle panel. We got 4 going across. So this is going to hold up so much better than the one he built me, which was fine. It worked for what, it did what it was supposed to do, but it just wasn't strong enough. And this is more permanent. This is more sturdy. It won't weigh down, because the spaghetti squash has really weighed the other one down. So this is much, much, much stronger. And I see a zip tie that he needs to come cut. He didn't want to use the little pins that come with the cattle panel. He insisted on the zip ties, like, okay. But anyway, so that's another thing. So as you see, we have put in the garden to bed. Everything else is going to be as is. I cut back all the lavender. I'll cut it back more in spring, but I got all the flowers off of it. This was the furniture and stuff that was on top of the deck. And I just told him, you know what, just move it all closer over there to the swing on that side in this little grass patch, and leave it, because why put it back on the deck when spring comes? The guy's going to come back and build our arbor for us, and then he's going to put another coat of the same stain on the deck. So I'm so loving it right now. But I definitely have been, like I said, I've been gone for a while, but I've been so busy, like I said, with work and just trying to get this master gardener and other, responsibilities that I have as a grown person into it. So this is just an overlook of how the garden looks now. Again, not pretty, but I still got stuff growing in there. I got garlic, growing. Like I said, I got a cover crops in there, and I got some fall vegetables, my leafy greens and stuff like that. And then I have that one green stalk that's not covered. Um, Sunday, I may come out and just pull out, cut back all the parsley and whatever arugula that I can get off of it, and leave it be. I think I still got something to cover. If I don't, I'm not going to worry about it. What else? I am anticipating, I have planted some stuff. That is an azalea, Encore azalea, which is zone 6 and up. So hopefully she'll make it. I got her mulched in a lot, but I might throw a bag over it with some leaves and try to insulate her a little bit more. But anyway, look at this. Snapdragon's still going. They love cool weather. This thing right here, I'm thinking about pulling out. And most of you guys may say, oh no, that's so pretty, that's so pretty. Yeah, but I'm a flower girl. So I may pull her out and put a rose bush right there. Right? I don't know. I definitely want a climbing rose bush. So maybe when he finished doing the arbor, I've been finding some climbing roses, but they all been red, and I don't want red. I want kind of like a pink or a fuchsia. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely growing moonflowers again. But yeah, it's cold out here, y'all. And it's gonna get colder. So the garden is put to bed. This garden is put to bed. I was glad we got enough time to insulate the greenhouse again. I may end up putting a layer of that greenhouse plastic on top for added installation. I just want to see tomorrow, since it's only going to be 37 degrees and during the day I won't have the heater going, but it does come on like early evening and it cuts off very early morning. I want to see what the temperatures are like, because we're going to get those negatives. So that's why I'm kind of like, I think I want to put the plastic on top of that as well. But other than that, everything else, it is what it is. And then for my first greenhouse, my husband just normally takes some greenhouse plastic or tarp and just put it on top and secure it down just to give it a little protection. But in spring, I'll have to do the water seal. In spring, I'll have to do the water seal with this as well, because I don't think I did it this year because I was so, concentrated on the one we just got. So, yes, I'm going to have to do the water stain on this one. As you see, it's very junky. But at this point, I don't care anymore. I just don't care no more, y'all. So, let's turn this around. So, that's just a quick update of putting the garden to bed. And I'm going to go in. I see some other stuff my husband didn't do back here. But I'm about to go in and put these roselles with the other two roselles and just see how much roselle that I could possibly get to make some tea or the Jamaican drink. And Jamaica, guys, we were supposed to go to Jamaica in December. We tend to go to Jamaica more often than other places. We haven't been since, I want to say 28. No. Well, 2018. When did my husband retire? 2020. We haven't been since 2020. But we were going to go this year, but unfortunately, because of the hurricane, I canceled the trip. And gonna miss it, but my heart definitely goes out to them. And just trying to deal with what they're dealing with. So, if you visit Jamaica often or whatever, try to support them in some type of way. I know Baker Creek just did a thing. It might have ended yesterday, where whatever you bought, 50% of that purchase will go to Jamaica. I think it was Red Cross Caribbean or something like that. But anyway, if you could donate something, because those are people down there, and we always going down there for them to show us a good time and bring us our drinks and cook our food and make our bed. So what's another way that we can support them, right? So anyway, yeah, that part and all the other stuff that's going on in the world. Yeah, that. So anywho, I'm gonna cut this video and I'll get back to you guys another time, and maybe I'll show you guys the front another time. But it's time to shut the garden down. If you have water barrels, if you got a deep freeze coming, empty them, if you're trying to preserve the rainwater, however you're trying to do it, knock yourself out. I just preserve the little. I'm not too much worried about it, because how much watering I'm about to be doing? Not much, right? Empty your water barrels, flip them upside down, or throw them away, however you want to do it. Annuals, might as well pull them, they're gone. Um, Cover things that need to be covered and protected, put away things that need to be protected, and just call it a day. And the leaves that you collect, don't throw them away. Insulate your beds with them. Put them in a plastic bag with holes and let them sit there for about a year. They will break down and become nutrients or some type of mulch as well to your beds. But do not throw your leaves away. Okay, they are here for a reason. The Lord created everything for a reason, and a lot of things that people misuse the things that He's created. Okay, anyway, gotta go. And like I always say, be blessed, but also be a blessing. All right, bye.